A slight glitch in the technology. We'll solve it right away. Sorry for that.
No problem, no problem. Yep. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So, what is ETC? ETC is not etc. It's not Chinese toll stations. It is Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic. So, what is Ethereum Classic then? What's the difference between Ethereum Classic and Ethereum? What makes it classic? Let's take a look. So, first of all, Ethereum Classic came about in June of 2016 as a result of the DAO incident. So, for those who don't know, DAO, or the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, was a sort of crypto hedge fund, crypto VC, whereby investors would invest their Ether and invest in Ethereum projects using smart code, smart contracts. And it sounded like a great venture. It was a form of investor-directed venture capital fund and had the objective of providing a completely decentralized business model. It actually raised $150 million worth of Ether in only about 28 days. Only problem is about a third of that was stolen. So, as many of you know, $50 million worth of Ether was hacked from the DAO, and this caused a huge fuss in the Ethereum community. It actually had nothing to do with Ethereum, this is DAO, but because almost 15% of all Ether was invested in this one project, Ethereum didn't have a choice. They had to make a decision what to do. Do they return the money to the original investors by changing the code, or do they stay original to the philosophy of the immutability of the blockchain? So, a vote occurred in July 2016, and it was decided by the Ethereum community to implement a hard fork in the Ethereum code and move the Ether taken in the exploit to a new smart contract through which it would be restored to its original owners. Ethereum Classic came into existence when some members of the Ethereum community rejected this hard fork. They said, no, this goes against the philosophy of the immutability of the blockchain. The whole purpose of blockchain is decentralization, immutability. If you don't have immutability, what's the point? So they decided to go their own way and formed Ethereum Classic. So Ethereum Classic is the original Ethereum. It stays true to the philosophy of the immutability of the blockchain. Okay, next slide, please. So, Ethereum Classic was officially born from Ethereum's block number 1,920,000 on the 20th of July 2016. Next slide, please. So, Ethereum Classic came about through a hard fork. Most of you probably know about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash forked off of Bitcoin and was the new one. Actually, in Ethereum's case, it's the opposite. So Ethereum was the new one. It just kept its name. Ethereum Classic was actually the original. So it's slightly different to the fork that occurred between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. But needless to say, Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are public blockchain platforms, and in terms of actual functionality, they're identical. They're almost exactly the same. There's one big difference. Ethereum Classic is significantly cheaper. So if you are a blockchain developer, if you're looking for a platform to run your smart contract, to run your dApp, you can have Ethereum, or you can have Ethereum Classic with the exact same functionality, but a 30th of the price. You pay $30 with Ethereum, you're paying $1 on Ethereum Classic. So basically, it's the exact same as Ethereum, but with a huge discount. So, one more thing though that I have to tell you to distinguish between the two. Obviously that's not it. As many of you know, Ethereum will be switching from POW, as proof of work, to POS, proof of stake, as early as next year, in fact. And Ethereum Classic, on the other hand, stays true to its principles not only of the immutability of a blockchain, but also to POW, proof of work. We see this as a central facet of blockchain. So, with that said, Ethereum Classic is really staying true to the original philosophy of blockchain, and Ethereum in particular, especially in its decentralized principles, and with the fact that the code is really the law. So the code is something you can't change, unlike Ethereum. Okay, so after extensive consultation with our community, we have come to the conclusion that unlike Ethereum, we will stay on POW, proof of work. And actually, it releases a whole range of opportunities, especially with Ethereum ETH moving to ETH 2.0. So with this setup, we can actually achieve interoperability between ETC and ETH, with both sides being able to benefit. Next slide, please. So, difficulty bomb. So, in December of 2017, the block reward, so if you're a miner and you mine Ethereum Classic, you get a reward. The block reward was reduced for the first time. So, we estimate that around March of 2020, Ethereum Classic will see another reduction, another halvening. Currently, the block reward is 3.88 ETC. So at that point, it will be 1.94 ETC. So the difficulty bomb. What is the difficulty bomb? So on the 29th of May 2018, Ethereum Classic bomb was successfully disabled. You're thinking, what is this bomb? Bomb. This is blockchain. What is a bomb? Well, the setup's a bit complicated. So, first of all, the difficulty bomb was a component of the original Ethereum code that was designed to suddenly and sharply increase mining difficulty to the point where mining effectively becomes impossible, and no blocks can be found after that. So, the reason the original Ethereum community did this was to move away from POW to something else, in particular POS. However, Ethereum Classic, we remain true to the POW principles, so we actually want to keep with that. So this was a problem for us. However, we managed to do a fork on block 5,899,999, and the difficulty bomb of Ethereum Classic became history. Next slide, please. So, let's take a look at our ecosystem. Let me try. Okay, here we go. Why is it moving again? Okay, here we go. So, here are some of our projects in our ecosystem. We have many projects. We have a very diverse and vibrant ecosystem with over 320 blockchain projects currently developed on the protocol. Many projects are at the forefront of the industry, and ETC Labs, which is responsible for choosing and incubating these projects, adheres to very strict norms in its selection of projects to incubate, with, above all, technological innovation being the primary guiding force, and practical operational applications being the standard, the industry standard. So after rigorous research, 11 projects were selected from 180 projects in the first phase for a period of up to 20 weeks of incubation. Here are some other projects, notable projects, that ETC Labs has incubated. So for each of these projects, ETC Labs provided them with open office space in San Francisco, one-on-one core technical development guidance, workshops, investor dinners, demonstration days, introductions to key industry movers and shakers, creative strategy consulting, legal counsel, extensive guidance in business development and finance, as well as a comprehensive customized service support like staff training. So ETC Labs really goes the extra mile to incubate the products it works with, the project it works with. However, in addition to all of this, and in addition to all the direct funding from ETC Labs, these projects have extensive access to resource support, including introductions to investors, developers, startups, as well as integration within the wider ETC ecosystem. And we believe that this growth of these projects also contributes to the continued development of ETC. Which brings me to my next point, TED. I would like to thank the gentleman over here for his excellent talk. So TED is currently in our watch list of projects. So this is a project we're looking at here in Korea to incubate. We're analyzing, we're looking at its application of blockchain technology, its community, and yes, we're deciding whether to include it in the final list. So maybe if you come back in a few weeks or months, you will see TED in the list, but we are looking very forward to working very closely with them, and hopefully everything will proceed as expected. So, some quick updates about Ethereum Classic. So, Atlantis. What is Atlantis? So it's expected that on the 17th of September, a hard fork will be carried out. And no new fork coins will be produced after that. So this update is known as Atlantis. And its goal is to make the ETC network more powerful, more stable, and more robust. So, looking at things from the perspective of the market, after this upgrade, the ETC network will have a greater appeal to dApps. Why? Well, because after the upgrade, dApps will be able to deploy, build, and run Ethereum Classic far more efficiently. Not only cheaply, but also efficiently. In fact, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dApps have specifically moved over to Ethereum Classic for this very reason. Specifically to join the ecosystem after the Atlantis hard fork implementation. So the prosperity of this ecosystem will bring unlimited imagination to the market, and it's something we're extremely excited about. And as I said, yes, this upgrade will improve the stability, performance, and security of the wider Ethereum Classic system, upgrading some opcode and also pre-compiled contracts. So to summarize, because it's a bit technical, to summarize very, very concisely, very briefly, we have something called state tri-clearing, which effectively is there to improve Ethereum Classic's performance. We have something called contract code size limit, which standardizes the code size and its capacity. And finally, we have something called ZK SNARKs, which stands for Zero Knowledge Succinct Non-Interactive Argument of Knowledge. It's a very long name, but the idea is actually very simple. So it's basically a zero knowledge proof. It implies that no interaction between prover and verifier is needed. So which allows someone to prove X without having to convey any information to the verifier other than that they know X. So again, it's very involved, but for the specific content, you can refer to our GitHub page. You'll find an explanation there. And as things progress, as Atlantis develops, you'll see an ever increasing explanation and more detail. But that is all from me, and thank you so much for listening.